What would you do without men? Tell me.
Women don't need men anymore, hot take. And I love the content surrounding this and how marriage benefits men more than women now in this day and age. I saw a comment and it said, if marriage benefited women, they would have taken it away from us by now.
Honey, you are freaking deluded. Men do everything. Men do everything. Yeah, okay, you have your cute little job and you make your money and you come home and you have your nice little apartment. They fix everything. They build everything. They shield you from harm ultimately on a large scale and on a small scale. What would you do without men?
If men didn't exist, the world would be perfect. It would be pretty calm and peaceful.
Calm and peaceful. Yeah, that's 2 words for how it could be, but I have a better 2 words for how it would most likely be. Chaos and pandemonium. For without men to complain about, most women would just most likely turn on each other.
Men ruin everything.
Do they? Well, without men, most of the world's infrastructures would actually fail to exist because there's not a lot of women that are willing to actually put forth the work and physical labor that would be required to maintain everything that we've become accustomed to.
Like, just imagine a life without men. That would be a dream come true.
Yeah, let's just take a moment and think about what a world would look like completely and only populated by women. Yeah, it really doesn't seem so much like a dream world. It actually more closely resembles something like a nightmare.
Give her credit. She's speaking honestly. It takes courage to say things that might not be popular. Respect the honesty.
I definitely think there is a singles tax. It's much more expensive to be single than to be in a relationship.
If you're single and living alone, you don't get the economies of scale. So instead of having a partner to split expenses with, you cover everything yourself.
I am tired of the amount of gaslighting us single people have to go through. Because let's be honest, a lot of the things that our friends in relationships can get for free, we have to pay for. And there's no amount of self-love or therapy that can kind of circumvent the frustration that being single is very expensive. Because if, an example, I am sick, I don't have anyone who can cook for me. My friend can ask her boyfriend to cook for her. I have to DoorDash something. If I need help moving something in my house, I need to go find someone and pay that person to come over and move it. Well, my friend can just ask her partner. And all those things just add up. If you lose your job, you have someone who can help you with rent. If you are having like financial trouble or health trouble, you now need to like disclose that to your family or friends, which might be embarrassing, or you can tell your one husband or your wife to help you through that. It is so frustrating to have to go through so many things alone and make these really big decisions, hard decisions completely by myself. I have my friends, I have my family, I love them, I can lean on them, but maybe I don't want to tell them all about my finances. Maybe I don't want to have to over-explain my entire health condition to them. Maybe I just need someone to help me with a real quick task that I don't want to have to pay someone or wait for someone to drive across town to come help me. And it is so frustrating because we're told that, being single is great. And it's really great when compared to an unhealthy relationship. But being single is not always better than having a healthy relationship. Don't get me wrong, I am not going to go hop into a relationship with a man just so I can have someone. But I do think we need to be honest that being single, while it can be really great, is also very impractical sometimes.
I don't trust a man who doesn't have any desire to lock down a good woman. Like, bro, you're telling me you don't want a good woman to build a life with, to be your partner, to want to, like, do all this fun stuff with, to feed your heart, mind, body, and soul? A man who doesn't want to lock down a good woman is a man who will consistently fumble the bag. Take my word for it. And ladies, that is not a man. That is a little boy with man parts. Okay, that's just what's happening. So you need to understand that if you are not being locked down, if you are a good woman, if you are a woman who has her shit together, who is smart, who builds her community, who loves herself, that is what makes you a good woman. And if there is a man in your life who is choosing to fumble his bag with you, then that is a boy. That is not.
Yeah, no, there's no need to rush into anything. After being hurt enough times, you learn to move carefully. Protecting your peace isn't bitterness, it's experience.
I think there are a lot of people out there who think that being a single person is really easy financially because they're like, oh, well, you only have to pay for yourself. And like, Wrong. Yeah, I do only have to pay for myself, which means I have to pay for my rent entirely by myself. I don't split it with a partner. My council tax bill, even though there's only one person, is only discounted by 25%. So if you're splitting your bill down the middle with a partner, I'm still paying more than you individually. My energy bills, yeah, okay, I pay less than you, but I'm not paying half because most of that cost is a standing charge. If I want to go on holiday, I have to pay for the room or the cabin entirely by myself. If I want to get a mortgage, I have to have a bigger deposit, and I can't get approved to borrow as much because I only have one income. Like, financially is really, really difficult to be a single person, and I think more people need to remember that when they're talking to their single friends.
You asked for autonomy, and autonomy comes with responsibility. Every choice has a cost. Independence isn't just about freedom. It's about accountability. You can't embrace the benefits and reject the consequences.
Men don't understand that a woman needs to cry. Crying actually makes your body release oxytocin and other hormones that make you feel good. They're frustrated because they think that you're taking it too far in your head, and they're trying to convince you that you don't have to get that upset. So they're frustrated that they don't know how to help you. They think that you're being dramatic, but they don't understand that it's actually an emotional release. It's a physical release. Men need to realize that crying actually helps you release emotions quicker than if you didn't cry. Another reason that people cry, though, is as a way to express their need for empathy and for bonding. So if your woman is crying, then either she's emotionally regulating, she's self-regulating, or she's looking for empathy. So the last thing you should do is be upset. All you need to do in that situation is, are you okay?
What's wrong? What
What's
can
wrong?
I do? Yeah.
And she might just say, I just needed to cry. Sometimes a woman just needs a good cry, and it feels amazing after. Unfortunately, society tends to frown upon boys crying. It's actually a really healthy form of emotional regulation.
The problem is, when manipulation becomes part of the experience, trust erodes. After enough mixed signals and emotional games, it gets hard to tell what's genuine and what isn't. And when you can't tell the difference anymore, some men don't lash out. They just shut down. Not because they don't feel, but because they're tired of being misled.
I often do videos talking about the fact that I'm 39, single, and happy, but today I wanted to tell you about the worst thing about being single. Gotta keep it real. It's not always easy. So yeah, the worst thing about being single is dun, dun, dun. Finances. I have to pay for everything myself. There is no one to share a single bill with. But I'm being serious. Mortgage or rent, bills, food, everything. I get to share costs with nobody.
Bills don't care about your "I don't need anyone" mantra. Freedom comes with its own responsibilities. Fierce independence is admirable, but it won't pay the rent or lighten the load of going it alone. True independence is about managing both freedom and responsibility.
Why isn't anybody talking about the single tax? It is significantly more expensive to be single, to the point that it's like economically irresponsible to cook when you're single. It costs $75 to make a meal, not to mention the cost of running the dishwasher, washing up all of the pots and pans. And then what am I going to do? Eat lasagna for 6 days? When I could use Uber Eats and one of their various codes each week to get a salad for $9. Imagine paying half your rent because you share your apartment with somebody, half your electricity bills, half your cable, Hulu, Amazon, Netflix, subscriptions. When you're going to the airport on a trip, you don't have to pay $70 for an Uber by yourself because you're splitting it with somebody. Forget saving money on a Costco membership. When am I ever going to use 36 apples? It's honestly the only argument I have for getting in a relationship. It is expensive to stay single. Just imagine if there were no more single people. The food and beverage industry would just collapse.
Suddenly, independence can feel heavy. It comes with real costs, responsibility, effort, and sacrifices. Men rarely complain about going it alone, but anyone who chooses to fly solo will eventually feel the weight of that choice. Independence is empowering, but it isn't always easy.
It is
so expensive to be single and to pay for all of these expenses by yourself. For context, I do live in the Bay Area, so it is hella expensive to live here, but this is essentially how much I pay in a month by myself. Close to $4,000 if I'm lucky. And again, it's not that I can't pay for these things, because obviously I'm out here living and thriving and a little hungry, but it's fine. However, it's usually the things that I don't account for on the monthly that like internally kills me. Like, for example, emergencies. Y'all, it's not only like costly, but the emotional expense to doing it by yourself is like...
Thriving shouldn't come with constant complaints. Yet some struggle with the consequences of their own choices and can't manage themselves effectively. Accountability isn't optional, it's part of adulthood. Men rarely get sympathy for just managing the basics, and neither should anyone. Responsibility is universal, and self-reliance is key.
Teaching kids about misogyny and incel culture is one thing. You know what I think they need to start teaching in schools? That, yes, you can have a partner and whatever, but if you ever choose to be alone, if you ever want to respect yourself and not just settle for bare minimum, if you want to release yourself from a toxic relationship, it will be very, very liberating, but very, very expensive. I have lived through the most liberating, amazing, culturing, wonderful experience the past, goodness me, what, 5 years? God. And that's not 5 years single. I've not been 5 years single, but 5 years not living with a man. And it's been amazing, but it's been so expensive.
If independence were always as fulfilling as it's portrayed, there wouldn't be so many complaints. The reality is often different from the image we project. Glorify independence in public, but the real costs hit in private. Empowerment is powerful, but it comes with responsibilities, and reality doesn't forget to send the invoice.
Got another complaint about late-stage capitalism, specifically about being a single woman, which I do recognize that we can't romanticize the past here all the time, because women couldn't even own their own credit card until the 70s. The fight for independence and autonomy and respect as a single woman in particular, so it's such a fucking uphill battle. And one of those things is the fact that those hidden costs, I guess I could say, is that I have never had a wedding shower, any sort of shower. Every single thing I've had to buy myself, and everything breaks.
Some people want their lives full of comfort and luxury, but expect others to carry the cost. When they face the reality of managing it on their own, the challenge can feel overwhelming. True independence means meeting your own needs, and that takes effort, discipline, and resilience.
I feel like nobody's talking about this, so I am going to. Why is it that being single is actually so expensive? I have signed up for every hobby you could think of. I have gone on yoga retreats. I have signed up for surfing. I have signed up for pottery, hot yoga, hot Pilates, sitting at coffee shops. I physically have been trying to pour into my cup and fill up my free time, but I didn't know how expensive that this was going to be. And I physically and financially can just not anymore. I don't know what else to do. I can't believe that this is what life has come to.
Some people enjoy the perks of independence, but resist the responsibilities that come with it. That's not true empowerment. It's a misunderstanding of what freedom really requires. Independence is powerful, but it demands accountability and effort, not just complaints.
I'm learning that the hardest thing about being single is needing two incomes to survive in this economy. Living off one income is impossible. And so with that said, if anybody with two jobs is looking for a partner, let me know.
Some people refuse to compromise. mistaking entitlement for high standards. It can be challenging for anyone trying to navigate those expectations. Understanding the difference between realistic standards and rigid entitlement is key to healthy relationships.
This shit is so fucking unfair. Like, why the fuck do I have to go through this? And he's just fine. Like, that's not fucking fair. He gets to go about his life, have his home, have his cars, have his financial stability, and I'm over here fucking struggling. I'm over here fucking crying all the time. I'm the one who's going through it. And he's just fucking fine. Like, how is that fucking fair? Why can't I just be fine just the way he is? Why can't I just not fucking care?
Why did she become so dependent on him, to the point that it led to all this? Clearly, there's more to the story than meets the eye. Thanks for watching Manhood. If you want access to exclusive episodes and want to support the channel, hit the join button and become a member. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share if this video resonated. Drop your stories and thoughts in the comments. We read every one. See you tomorrow.